of God will demand a new version of you. This is why progressively you are supposed to be growing in keeping to pace with the very purpose of God per time and per season for your life. How did he even know that I was planning this thing? So you will know that every time God intervenes, whether the thing goes as planned or not, it is a communication of love. The son that he loves, he chastises. Many of us became discouraged because of the chastisement of God. We perceived it as attack. We perceived it as though we are not aligned to his will. But chastisement is a major molecule on the path of spiritual progress. When you go to verse 6 and verse 7, you will begin to see in verse 7 of Hebrews chapter 12, he says, if ye endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons. He says this is how God deals with sons. He deals with them through chastisement. And if you can endure chastisement, God deals with you the way he deals with sons. Verse 10, very quickly. Everybody, let's read as loud as we can. Please, 1, 2, go. For they verily for a few days chastened us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit, that we might be partakers of what? So the chastisement of God makes us partakers of his holiness. We become partakers of his holiness by virtue of his deliberate chastisement in our lives. Oh, I can give you stories from today till tomorrow of many denials God brought into my life. Things that did not make sense as at the moment. Things that it will walk one hand from other people. But when it comes to you, a finger will be deployed to make sure you learn certain virtue in the spirit. Every other person can go cheaply, but for you, you will be detained until you imbibe some cultures in the spirit. There are people sitting here, you have been crying, Lord, when would you allow my light to break forth? When would you let my voice to become loud in the space? When would men hear me too? It's the mercy of God that is hiding you. There is a version of you God insists, this is the version that can effectively represent my interest. And until you grow into it, you want to rush and get married. You want to rush and enter marriage. The only thing you are celebrating is just the wedding. That's all you know about. There is a, it will interest you to know that I counsel more married people about crisis in their relationship than single people. They are putting deadline. By the grace of God, 2025 no go pass me. Well, if you like, say anything. If you have not learned by the way God has ordained, through the things you must suffer, you will by all means need to stay there until you have learned it. If not, you will enter marriage and misrepresent God. I'm not so old to talk about the matters of marriage. But I also know that spiritual things are not apprehended on the basis of numerical age. There's a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding. I have found out in my few years that marriage was designed for dead men. If you are alive, you will create a blunder in marriage. You must be dead like a zombie, not looking at. See, there are many platforms of offense marriage will present at you. You who have lived as a single person all your life, suddenly you now need to live together with another human being, sharing the same space. Who told you there will not be conflict? Conflict at every level. Offense at every level. If you are alive in the flesh, that is like a time bomb waiting to explode. Where you have two fleshy men. That's why they celebrate dance on Saturday. Give them 2 months. They are already in the magistrate court. Meanwhile, the same thing that you are hearing, the average, when I see this Gen Z thing, I get tired. cannot take it. I cannot tolerate nonsense. The people who raised you, every day was nonsense. This one will do nonsense, this one will forgive, this one will do nonsense, this one will forgive. So the reason is that there must be that accommodation in your heart to overlook the excesses of your significant other. Do you know? If I want to do a teaching on marriage now, and I show you biblical perspective of marriage, God's perspective, you will see that what we are doing, we are just selecting scriptures we want to obey. That's why I don't take many people seriously. If you like, wear and co. When you come and you are talking and I cannot sense that death to self, I see people alive in the flesh. It's a recipe for disaster. Before you know, this one is claiming is right. This one is also claiming is right. Before you know it, everybody abandoned the biblical recommendation for that institution. Before you know it, and what we now carry as our models for marriage are Gentiles. People who have very scary rate of divorce in their marriages have become our mentors. A brother that escaped the chastisement of the Lord met a sister that also escaped chastisement. Two escapees now meet together and create a disaster. What you don't realize, let me tell you something, because of how selfish man is, when you begin to make some moves, all you have been thinking about for your life from the first place till now is me, myself, and I. During chastisement, God will start removing your eye from you and setting your gaze on matters that are more kingdom inclined. It is during chastisement that the basis for your selection will no longer be shape. It will no longer be color of skin. It will no longer be beauty. Many people have married color of skin. And as I'm speaking to you now, the dealings in Zion. The whole of this dealing that a child that is admitted begins to have, and as it grows into sonship, it is to the end. In Obadiah chapter 1 verse 17, the Bible says, upon Mount Zion. Upon Mount Zion. Can we all read together? 1, 2, go. But upon Mount Zion there shall be deliverance. So the yoke, that yoke of iniquity that keeps us glued to disobedience, it is during this journey to ascend that mountain. That's where God breaks it from your heart. So that upon Mount Zion, there shall be deliverance. Number 2, remember, there shall be what? The Lamb of God will demand a new version of you. This is why progressively, you are supposed to be growing in keeping to pace with the very purpose of God per time and per season for your life.